robotics open. It is
FXO Hurricane.
Gets a very energetic intro here by Street Fighter Voice.
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't actually Street Fighter Voice.
It was Ken.
Yeah, we still have Ken. Mixed it up. Bottom left, we have his opponent. Starting player for Team StarTale today.
StarTale Bomber.
Speaking of Street Fighter voice, I heard his voice the other day in a commercial in the subway. I recognized his voice instantly. So he's doing other work out there in Korea.
You serious?
Yeah, I heard his voice. I don't remember what the ad was for, but he was talking in English as well, just typing something up.
I think you have to listen more closely. Usually I listen to music when I'm in the subway, but yeah, I definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, if I find it again, I'll definitely try to like post on YouTube or something.
Well, currently we have Gas here for Bomber very early in the game, so he wants to be very aggressive.
Yeah, he's going gas first, and this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. With he hasn't been practicing for this matchup very much because he's had to focus so much on Zergs and Codes, so maybe he has just some sort of all-in plan where he doesn't really want to play a straight-up game. And I don't want to say all-in, but a drop where he can get ahead early, for example, and not have to play against that.
I mean, traditionally, he's a player who's really strong in this matchup, so I am excited to see what exactly he's doing here. And already seeing that he wants to go for the aggression, that is pretty awesome. I would like to see an aggressive opening into this team match, just in general. Team's just trying to lay down the law a little bit. Hurricane, on the other hand, now with the cybernetic score, he has, of course, to find out what exactly is going on here. But so far, we don't even have a scout of him from the map.
Yeah. Totally blind so far. But his build is safe. He will do a Mothership Core expand, it looks like. And Bomber's going to come in here and see everything. He's going to be very happy that they are close spawns like this instead of cross.
And he's also lucky enough to scout his opponent in the first position possible. So this lines up very well for him. Already going now into the factory. He's still mining, of course, gas and will then add the starport very soon. With a Marine at the front, he doesn't have to worry about his opponent sneaking a probe into his main base. That shouldn't happen. And he's even denying the Nexus a little bit, even though, to be fair, Hurricane doesn't even have the... Now he has the mineral at least to pull that off.
Yeah, that was a nice drop there on that Nexus. Yeah. I think he considered eBay blocking, but he saw that there was a Zealot in production earlier, so he didn't do it. But then the Zealot was cancelled, so like a little bit of mind games going on there. I like that. So Bomber does delay the Nexus ever so slightly. And he's going for a drop. We have not seen Widowmine production started just yet, or Hellions. He could do either.
Yeah, it's actually true. We could also just see him go, well, Widowmines is apparently the choice that he goes for. We have the first one already on the production tab, so we will see a Widowmine drop. Hurricane should pretty soon start his robotics. That's what you would expect in such a situation, him going for the Nexus, but he also needs, of course, the detection here.
Yeah. Bomber is, he doesn't have his Marines positioned at the bottom of the ramp, so this probe could get an idea that this is one-base play when he arrives here. He's pulling his Marines back into the main base for possible Mothership Core pressure, but this means that his late CC will probably be scouted by the probe. It depends on the path. The Stalker is actually going to get hit by the Widowmine, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it will take down... Yes, that Stalker is a gone. Whoa!
He unburrowed the Widowmine, just bad luck there.
Okay, that was really a little bit unfortunate. I mean, that Stalker would not have survived.
And now he's going to actually be able to kill this SCV. If he micros correctly, boom, gets away.
Delays the command center, that's all that he wants to achieve here. It's a little bit unlucky for Bomber, could have killed one of those.
Oh, this is so sexy. He puts the Widowmine behind.
Really well done. Cutting off the retreat path. That was really cool.
You know, I mean, he shows the Widowmine by doing this, but he already figured out what's going on with his Stalker. So, I mean, doing that's pretty cool. We see Armory come down, so we're going to see a Hellbat follow-up to this.
This could be really strong by Bomber. I mean, he's not only going for the first wave, but he's already preparing for a second attack of aggression while he's going into his own expansion. But of course, by now, Hurricane knows that there are Widowmines on the map. You can see him going straight into the Observer. But here comes the dropship. Only one Widowmine, though.
Instant reaction here.
Yeah. That shot didn't do anything.
Nope. And he will clean this up with the Observer about to pop out.
Yeah.
There it is.
Here we go, bye-bye Widowmine. But still, we have the Armory now nearly completed, so he can go into the Hellbats, has his own expansion nearly up. But so far, Hurricane gets a really good start into this game.
He has 2 Observers also, don't forget.
Yep. And he has a bit of a supply lead now. He got the early expansion. So far, Bombers Harris didn't do anything, so the gas first did not pay off at this point. He has to do damage with the Hellbats that he's now producing, or he will fall even further behind.
If he gets some good shots of the Hellbats, he can turn this game around right from the start. But everything else, like you said, is definitely in Tyr's favor right now. Bay is coming up. He's got that Forge coming down. He's going to have that upgrade lead. He's even making more observers. Uses a hallucination here, and he's going to scout with this hallucinated Phoenix the Hellbat drop.
Robotics Bay in the main base are going into the Colossi now. The armor upgrade is also being researched. And for now, the dropship is on its way. It hasn't been spotted just yet, so let's see how much damage he can really do with this. He needs to do damage now, or he will even fall farther behind. He cannot afford to just have this advantage of Hurricane without doing any damage to the economy.
Mothership almost with enough energy for overcharge here. He's not on top of paying attention to his probes. Immediately loses a few.
Yeah, but not too many. He can go into the main base right now with another Afterburner. It's not ready just yet, but will be in a few seconds.
But the Stalkers are ready.
He tries to go to the expansion again and is just barely able to retreat.
Yeah, you know, Photon Overcharge on the wrong Nexus arguably there. And if he had targeted the one at the natural, he definitely would have gotten it.
Still trying to intercept the Medivac, and he could actually pull that off.
With the observatory spots, perfectly done.
Really well done by Hurricane. Not only does he have the observer in position, but he warps in another Stalker right at the front and is able to just hunt down the Medivac. Things are looking really good for Hurricane this game.
Yeah. Now going into the Twilight Council so he can get +2 armor. We'll start a second Forge soon. And he knows that he has all the advantages in tech even. He knows he has the upgrade advantage because he's constantly checking with those Phoenixes. So he knows, okay, you're a little bit late on your E-base.
Yeah, for Bomber, the whole concept just didn't pay off. He started with the gas first. He wanted to be aggressive. The Widow Mine didn't do any damage at all, didn't even kill a single probe. Hurricane defends very well, and then the second step for Bomber going into the drop with the Hellbats is shut down without doing too much either. So he's really falling behind here. If this continues like this, he will have to pull his SCVs again.
Yeah, I think we're going to see something like that. As you can see, he's adding 2 barracks, hiding them on the right side, so they're likely to be unscouted. They're also going to be able to reinforce a little bit. Well, I don't want to say much quicker, but a little bit quicker.
One of his problems really is that the scouting by Hurricane is exceptionally good. He always has a few observers ready to spot what's going on, and Bomber's drop here, the 2 Medivacs, they were already spotted, and the observer is still chasing down this army.
Yeah, and since he knows there's 2 drops, he sees one dropship here, and he's like, okay, the other one's got to be somewhere.
Yeah. Should have a few units in the main base, at least the mothership. No. Well, walks in with the Colossus right now, but there's at least a cannon to delay this a little bit.
And Bomber decides not to commit. He's going to need these Hellbats later for his push, too.
It's just like he always tries to... he's running up towards Hurricane and he just meets a wall. There's nothing that he can do. This is just such a safe play by Hurricane. And he gets farther and farther ahead because he has such a good micro and macro right now that he can defend against the attacks without getting any damage done. And the opening that he chose just gives him an edge.
One thing, though, that Bomber does have that's going to start to give him a little bit of an edge is the fact that he has +1 armor on the way. He has a second engineering bay, something that Hurricane has not added as his second forge. So upgrades are going to start to take a toll on him.
And again, the dropship trying to move in. And the only thing that really works for Bomber is that Hurricane doesn't has not a completed blink upgrade, or there would be a trap, and with the Stalkers blinking forward, he could lose 2 Medivacs. But he's trying to move in right now. He should see those. Yes, he sees the units and immediately turns around.
Yep, he will spot the Nexus here, which is nice for him, but not going to be able to get anything done.
He killed one of the probes earlier and delayed it a little bit. Now he knows that there is a 3rd base by now, but he can't do anything about it, and that's really his biggest problem.
I'm a little bit surprised Bomber takes this 3rd command center. It looks like he's very confident that even though he's had a rough start in this game, he's going to be able to transition out of it into the late game. He does have that upgrade lead.
Yeah, he definitely does. We so far only have 1 forge for Hurricane. He's adding the 2nd one now, and we see him going now into the +2 armor upgrade. But with the 3rd Nexus already coming up, he's still in a pretty good spot here. His tech is decent. He has the Colossi out, can transition then, of course, and go also into the additional Templar Archive to add Storm to his composition.
Yeah, you see that right now Bomber is adding his 2nd starport, putting it right on the reactor so he can make 4 Vikings at a time, but that switch into Templar is going to happen very soon. This Nexus may have to be cancelled, though. He does not have a lot of units nearby.
Yeah, this is definitely an oversight. This is a huge problem. The Terran army darts in and does the damage with the stim. Hurricane has those units in the main base position and a few and then at the 3rd, but not close enough to guard it.
Yeah.
And this is gaining a big problem for him, because now Bomber not only does take a bit of a supply lead, but he will be on 3 bases, whereas Hurricane is still limited to 2.
Very calculated what Bomber did there. He saw that there were a lot of units in the main base. He was like, oh, you probably don't have enough, and you're definitely not close enough. You're not going to get those forces off. And now Hurricane's moving out. He realizes that after losing that Nexus, he's got a little bit of a window here. He needs to do some damage.
Yeah, because this puts Bomber into a spot. The opening was a little bit better for Hurricane, but this move in that we saw for Bomber, using the stim, going in, dishing out the damage, and then moving back, that put him in a good position. And this War Prism will be intercepted immediately. Bomber already saw with the scan that there's a War Prism heading his way, and he positions 2 Vikings to the left. The War Prism doesn't stand a chance here.
Absolutely not.
But Bomber doesn't really see that it's coming.
Oh, here comes the attack though. He blinks to the side, trying to catch those Vikings, get some good Colossi shots up, but he does not have enough army supply here.
First Colossus is already gone. The War Prism can't do anything to the left side. The idea of Hurricane was really just to put pressure onto the third base and at the same time warp into the main. But with those 2 Vikings to the left, that just didn't happen. There was no chance for the War Prism to get past.
Yeah, and right now Bomber nearly doubling the army supply. He's really, that command center's really paid off for him, and the fact that Tier lost his third is starting to hurt him quite a bit. And Bomber gonna hit a timing here. He doesn't have to, but it could work really well. He has that upgrade lead for a few more seconds.
There is no Storm, you know, he can only rely on those Colossi, and one of them is already gone, and another one will die very soon as those Vikings are taking charge of the situation.
Yep, he's definitely going to be able to get those Colossi. Good force fields here, but now they work against the Zealots.
1 Colossus is left, but the Vikings are still doing damage. The Colossi just barely surviving, but already 150 supply down for Hurricane. He's up against 140, and Bomber is moving in, taking down another Nexus.
Yeah, he targets the Nexus down. It looks like it will barely fall here. Bomber just has too much. He's trading too efficiently.
Oh, well, we have the photon overcharge. He might just barely be able to save the Nexus. It's going to be close. I can't believe that he doesn't send a few units to the left side. There are only a few hit points left on the Nexus.
Oh, he's going to get it.
Here we go. Moves in, takes it down, and once again, Hurricane on 2 bases up against 3. But Bomber lost a lot here.
But these Hellbats coming to the right side could definitely change his luck, but a very fast pull by Tier here.
That's mining time that he loses that he can't afford to lose. Bomber just has the better economy, even though he lost a fair amount of SCVs with this attack.
Here comes a stim. He blocks. The Colossus is being targeted by so many different units right now.
Yeah, 2 Vikings, and they will take down the Colossus. That's the last one that he has. Storm is not done just yet, and Bomber is in a dominant position, even though he has less supply than his opponent. Yeah, he was denying mining for such a long time.
He's going to be able to stabilize here.
And the worker supply, as you could see, for Hurricane is really in his favor. The problem is he couldn't mine from his third base in a long time, and he's basically oversaturating his bases, whereas Bomber can use those mules.
Bomber's just going to continue to rally here, attacking over and over and over again because he has the better production right now. He has the better army, and he has that momentum. Every Zealot Warpin that comes in is just barely not enough.
Exactly. He has more army supply than his opponent, and there is so much pressure on Hurricane now. He tries to stabilize and get back on his tracks, but he's losing probes left, right, bottom, and center, and he's losing his army as well. Once again, the Colossi being targeted. The Vikings doing a great job here, and the Archons alone are not enough to deal with the Bioforce.
Yeah, they don't quite have enough DPS there, and this momentum is really starting to end this game, I feel. He's just done too much damage. Zealot's trying desperately again. He's out of medevac energy, but he still has too many Bioforces.
Bomber was able to drive a wedge between those 2 bases of his opponent, and Hurricane just isn't able to get all his units together and deal with this. Maybe now trying to go for a sandwich, but there are just too many units, too much DPS for Bomber. And we have so many reinforcements just streaming in.
This is probably going to be game. He doesn't even kite anymore. Last medevacs fall. I mean, this type of army that Bomber has, as a Plus player, you need to have a good ratio of Stalkers and Zealots with a few Archons, but he has mostly either one or the other, and that cannot beat this army. You have to have both. You have to have the Zealots to run in, you have to have the Stalkers to chase, otherwise Bomber's just going to kite you forever.
It's great when you have more Harvesters than your opponent, but if you don't mine from all your bases, then the economy of your opponent is going to be much better, especially if it's a Terran player that has 3 CCs for the mules. So Bomber is winning this battle no matter what. He's already in his opponent's main base, and Hurricane, he doesn't really know what to do here.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to cut off some reinforcements, but he lost all of his production here. All of his pylons are gone. And now he holds the dominant position at the top of the ramp, so there's no way to break up there.
Exactly, Bomber already doubling his opponent's supply. A desperate attempt to go for a bit of counter-aggression. Hurricane is moving in, but the next production cycle should be able to deal with this.
Yeah, a few more medevacs coming down and more Arson. Again, he just does not have the ratio, so Bomber just kites him here.
There won't be any reinforcements for Hurricane. He's not mining anymore. He has a few probes over at the third base, but it's already being attacked by the main bulk of Bomber's army. He's going in once again, takes out the Nexus, and this has to be game.
Yeah, targets down that Archon. The probes are not going to beat this army. He's dancing the units. This is the Bomber that we know.
Bomber is dancing Marines and Marauders.